Functions are a slightly more specific way of saying y equals, knowing that it's a function. But a one-to-one function is even more specific. What a one-to-one function means is not only does every x input correspond with one and only one output, but every output of y corresponds directly with only one input. Okay, so there's no repeated inputs that yield different outputs, no repeated outputs that yield different inputs. That's a one-to-one function. Okay. So if you look at this first example right here of these tables, do you think this represents a one-to-one function? Okay. There's no repeated inputs, so is this a function? It is a function. Okay. Are there any repeated outputs? Yes. Do they come from or derive from different inputs? Yes. Therefore, this is not one-to-one. Okay. It is a function, but it's not a one-to-one function. Okay. So this one would be no. Okay. What about the next one? Would that be a one-to-one function? Are there any repeated inputs? No. Any repeated outputs? No. So you know that that's going to be a one-to-one. Right? There's no case where the same input gives different outputs or the same output gives different inputs. And what about the next example? An x of 7 can either give a 9 or a 12. Is that even a function? No, not even a function. Okay, what about the next? No inputs give different output. None of the same inputs give different outputs. None of the same outputs come from different inputs. So this one is one-to-one. Okay, what about the last example? Again, it is a function, but because these outputs of 9 come from two different inputs, it's not one-to-one. Okay, and so again, your only two choices that would work on this would be these two here.